and Warrington provide the opposition here at wet and windy Wilderspool. A good Halloween evening to you all. And the one thing you can be absolutely certain of is a great many things are going to go bump in the night between now and 10 o'clock this evening. The people of Warrington have turned out in force to see what they hope will be a second successive defeat for the Australian tourists. Their 5-match unblemished run going up in smoke at Wembley on Saturday by 19 points to 12. 3,000 tickets have been sold on the strength of that result alone, and we have a capacity crowd tonight here just about in excess of 10,000. Now, the last time these two sides played here was in 1978. The Australian side then included their present coach Bob Fulton, and they went home with their tails between their legs, defeated by 15 points to 12. So, can Warrington achieve a similar famous victory this evening? We shall see. Our commentary team is Mike Stevenson and Eddie Hemmings.
And let's take a look then at the Australian lineup. They have Greg Alexander in the side tonight, the man from Penrith, at full-back. Chris Johns from Brisbane is on the wing. And Mal Meninga, their captain's volunteered to play. The Canberra captain, he's in at 3. Brisbane's Kevin Walters is in 4. And his teammate, Dale Shearer, in 5. Brad Fittler from Penrith is the youngest player on the tour. He's in 6. Big chance for him. And Des Hasler from Manly, the scrum half. Glenn Lazarus is the prop from Canberra. Benny Elias is the hooker, he's from Balmain. Mark Sargent from Newcastle Knights is the other prop. Mark Geyer from Souths is in 11. Big David Gillespie from Canterbury in 12. And Brad Mackay from the St George's Club is the lock forward. And the coach, as always, Bob Fulton. There's the Warrington side out and on the field, ready for this battle that's ahead. And this is the way that Warrington line up. They've got David Lyon at full-back. Former Great Britain international Des Drummond's on the wing. Former Welsh Rugby Union international Alan Bateman's in the centre, alongside a local junior Tony Thornley. Paul Williamson, another local boy, is in 5. An Australian from the Canberra club, Chris O'Sullivan, at stand-off. And another big money import from Wales, Kevin Ellis, is at scrum half. Tony Burke's the big prop forward, number 8. Dwayne Mann, New Zealand Test hooker for 11 times, he's in 9. Neil Harmon is in 10. An Australian, Bob Jackson, is in the second row, alongside Mike Gregory, and it's his first game of the season. And Paul Cullen, he begins his testimonial tonight. What a way to start. Their coach is Brian Johnson, and he too is an Australian. And there is Mike Gregory. A big night for him. The last time he appeared in the primrose and blue colours for Warrington was at Wembley last year. He broke a finger on the New Zealand tour in the 3rd test. And there's his opposite number tonight, Mal Meninga. Volunteered to play after the defeat at Wembley on Saturday. And Benny Elias there, the tour vice-captain, and he really is winding up his men here tonight. So Australia then have 2 captains on the field. And there in red, the match referee, Dave Carter, not too far away from witness. He's 35 next month. So big night for both Warrington and Australia. The Australians still smarting from that defeat. And it was in 1967, would you believe, the last time that Australia lost consecutive matches on tour. And back on home territory, Bob Fulton in the centre of your picture there. The Australian coach, born in Warrington. He went over to Australia as a youngster and became one of the legendary figures in the Australian game. So we're just about ready then for this important match. An important match for Australia in that they get back on the rails. And an important night for Warrington as they try and inflict the second successive defeat on the Australian tourists. Greg Alexander, the fullback from Penrith, the man they call Brandy, and he is going to get this game underway. The Australians look quite keen as Ellis gets his first touch. The Australians look to me as though they are warming to the task here. This is Dwayne Mann. But quickly up and into the tackle. But perhaps, again, a little too quickly. That was a big fault of theirs on Saturday in the Test match, and Dave Carter, the match referee, has pinned them again for offside at the play the ball. The Australian management wanting to have a word with the French referee, Monsieur Sablereau, who's in charge of the Test matches, to see what his ruling is on that. Perhaps Mr. Carter will have a meeting from the Australian officials as well tonight. First touch for Mike Gregory this season. This is Jackson. Dwayne Mann from dummy half. Good kick, and that's so important for Australia, for Warrington, just as it was on Saturday. Super kick.
Beautiful position there by Ellis. As you mentioned, Eddie, a very important factor towards Great Britain's win on Saturday.
Warrington perhaps watched the video. I know their clubhouse was full here. Here's Fittler. Good run from the youngster. Only 18. I think after the display at Wembley on Saturday, he fancies his chances of a Test place, as indeed all these Australian players do. Brad Mackay making progress down the wing. Good tackling though from Warrington, and Warrington caught offside at the play the ball again. So the referee has certainly made his intentions known, Mike.
Certainly has, and Bob Jackson there, a little bit too enthusiastic. You mentioned the fact that the Australians, they'll be looking towards a very, very convincing win to lift their morale. And of course, everything is psychological these days in the game. And what was supposed to be the second string on the midweek games, these guys now realize that a brilliant game tonight can well and truly put them in the running for the second Test at Old Trafford.
That's the Australian bench watching anxiously as Greg Alexander has this first shot at goal tonight, right in front of the sticks. And he's pushed it wide, and that really has been a problem for Australia all the way through this tour. Their goal kicking hasn't really been up to scratch. Alexander starting the kicking tonight. Mal Meninga, of course, kicking the goals at Wembley on Saturday. And that one went a begging, and that really should have been 2 points on the board for Australia. So perhaps Warrington can take some heart from that.
Very surprising that Bobby Fulton allowed Alexander to take that kick, because Meninga has not been in the best of form, and that really indicates that Alexander has to be in the front running to make it for the second Test.
Elias from dummy half. Good ball to Hasler, but look at a good tackling again from Warrington. But a little bit too eager. Bob Jackson, the Australian, in the tackle. A penalty to Australia. Such a keen competitor, Bob Jackson. A little overzealous on that occasion. Alexander with the penalty then finds touch. Goals from Alexander this tour so far. This now is Sargent. The Australians using their power and strength. A bit of speed as well. That's Lazarus. Mackay taking over. That's the try line that Warrington are defending. Elias from dummy half, trying to scuttle through on his own. And he's been held up. The referee right on the spot. and so it'll be a scrum down.
Good play by Warrington. You'll see Elias trying to get over. They know he can't get it down. Good work there by Jackson.
Five minutes of this match gone. Still Warrington 0, Australia 0. And if the Australians are looking sharp, Warrington are sharp in the tackle too. They've lost their last two matches in the First Division. They'd love to get back on winning ways and create a bit of history here tonight. And that man in 12 for Warrington, Mike Gregory, playing for his place in the British Test side. Kick is charged down. Mackay. The referee's just checking, but that's going to be a try. It is. First try of the evening. Great play from Brad Mackay. Following up, charges the kick down. It's not counted as a knock-on. He's able to swoop on it, pick it up, and dive over the line. Brad Mackay's second try on tour, and it was Lyon who fed the ball wide. Ellis's kick was charged down, and Mackay over for an easy touchdown.
Well, here you see Ellis, and good play by Mackay, but this came under pressure early, mainly due to the fact that the hooker, Benny Elias, put pressure on Warrington. See, Elias just out of the picture. He had to spin the ball out wide. Ellis didn't have the room. Mackay read it well, and a fully deserved four-pointer.
Perfect start then for the Australians. Alexander has this kick to add the two extras, and he hits the post. Shakes his head. He's annoyed. But it's Warrington 0, the Australians 4, courtesy of Brad Mackay's touchdown. And that's Laurie Nichols. Mike, you'll know him from Sydney.
I certainly do, and it amazes me. Doesn't matter what the conditions are in England, he always wears that Balmain t-shirt.
Well, I tell you what, he's a brave man tonight, because it really has the first chill of winter here in the air at Warrington. And I think almost for the first time in the match, the home side in the Australians' 22. And aiming to keep them there. It's Mark Geyer. Elias organising from dummy half. Good ball from him, Sargent. Alexander. Hungary misses him. Good kick from Alexander. Lyon eventually collects. The Australians have moved up in the wall, and Lyon kicks back downfield. That's good play. He spotted a couple of his teammates up there, and he's pushed Alexander back almost to his own try line. Now Warrington must pin him, and they do.
Excellent play by Warrington there. So I have noticed the Australian tactics. A little bit more respect towards their play. They're not trying to be fancy. And the forwards, for once, not like last Saturday, are doing their work.
Hasler. Big tall figure of Geyer. He slips the pass out. That's Shearer's first touch tonight. Remember Shearer, a hat-trick against Cumbria in the last midweek match. A bomb from Alexander to test Lyon. Good catch. And a good run too. Oh, great run from Lyon. He's marauding through them. That's warmed the crowd, brought them to their feet. And what's more, he's won a penalty because they were holding him down in the tackle. He caused a bit of chaos in the Australian ranks, David Lyon.
Well, that really should have been a 5-minute stint in the sin bin for Dale Shearer. That was a professional foul, no doubt about that. Warrington had the momentum going. They wanted to spin the ball out wide, and Australia went for the penalty.
And last season's beaten Challenge Cup finalists are on a roll here. Gregory is underneath those three Australian tacklers. Looking for a big game tonight, Mike Gregory, as is this fellow Ellis. He'll be annoyed that that kick of his was charged down. There's nowhere for Paul Cullen to go. That's Paul Williamson. Line again. High kick. Warrington have arrived in numbers. It's a great take by Bateman. He just couldn't hold on. And Mike, we've seen the bomb being used early on here. And of course we saw the bomb being put to such good use by Great Britain on Saturday. Here it is again.
Well, that was great play by Bateman. Unfortunately, the ball just slipped out there. As you mentioned, Eddie, especially in these wet conditions, give the ball plenty of air. And the confidence, well, it's not all that high in the Australian camp at the moment.
Is that the way that we should be taking on the Australians, you think?
Of course. There's no point trying to match it with their fitness and the speed out wide. We've got to play good old-fashioned football like we did on Saturday, and then we just kick the ball out and a good kicking game throughout.
And Tony Burke had the ball, but the referee, in consultation with his touch judge, says that he stripped the possession away. Well, I don't know whether he did or not, frankly.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, David Gillespie released the ball, a la rugby union fashion. Referee at fault there.
That's one for you, Mike. That scattered us. Alexander with the kick. Pinpoint accuracy. He found Mike Stevenson up here on the gantry. Good running from Mark Geyer. Good tackling again from Warrington. Haslam gives it to Sargent. Elias again, the engineer, Hasler. That's Fittler. Little kick over the top from Fittler, well caught. That was Kevin Ellis.
Great play by the halfback. Wonderful position. And that's good sweeper. Very good sweeping play indeed.
Jackson, good ball to Cullen. Warrington really are, at the moment, just penned in their own 22. Kick here. Was Dwayne Mann with the kick. He only found the winger, Chris Johns. And he's found Meninga. Meninga has been discovered by about 3 or 4 Warrington players. McCarthy. Australians ahead, 4-0. And the Elias in possession. It's Gillespie, Hasler, Fittler. A lot of people very impressed by this standoff for Australia tonight. Brad Fittler. Ball drops. Warrington say thank you. Sullivan. Good play. Good run from Thornley. Great run, Thornley. Just pulled down by Mark Sargent. Tony Burke.
Once again, we're seeing gaps appear in the Australian defence, especially near the play of the ball.
Gregory. Captain Courageous Gregory on the New Zealand tour for Great Britain and hunting a test place tonight. Alexander. Good tackling from Ellis. Lazarus. Walking through the challenges. Burke and Cullen bring him down. Shearer. Oh, he just shrugged Thornley off then. And again. Oh, good play, Shearer. This is Elias. And he's got Kevin Walters. They keep the move going. This is Geyer. He does the same lovely play. Quick hands from Australia. And Kevin Ellis is all over the field. The little number 7 for Warrington. That was great play from the Aussies.
Certainly was, and once again, great defence by Ellis. Certainly has been Johnny on the spot there. Saved a certain try.
Waving the Warrington players back. This is Mackay. Lazarus just held out. That's Gillespie. Mackay. Good defence by Warrington again. Spin the ball wide. Fittler. And again, Meninga. Tackling Thornley and Gregory. Last tackle. Alexander. A high kick. One for Lyon. He takes it well, but is caught immediately. And the referee says he's tackled behind the line. He was thrown back behind his own try line.
Well, I disagree with the referee on this occasion. You'll see the fullback Lyon take it. He is spun, but Lyon brings it back. I really feel that he wasn't held correctly there.
Hasler then, underneath it for the Australians. You mustn't let the Aussies pick up pace. Lazarus. Say the Australians up front, they do tend to use their weight and power. That was their undoing on Saturday. Fittler looking to unload, does so. Elias. Sargent. By Warrington, swarming over the man in possession with the football. This is the last tackle. Nearly a fumble from Walters. Little chip over the top. Well gathered in. Now there's a bit of a chance here, but the greasy top taking its toll. Drummond quickly into it. But the referee said it was a knock-on, and the Australians have head and feed.
No doubt about this. There's a knock-on, you can see it. Even though Walters did bring it back into play, the referee deeming that no advantage. Scrum.
Penalty at the scrum. I think that was for feeding. Only just. It was, I think, behind the second row's feet.
Try the loose forward.
Lyon with this kick. Harman. Played at Wembley in place of Steve Malloy. Neil Harman meant that Malloy was on his way this season to Leeds. Such is the faith that Brian Johnson, the Warrington coach, has in the youngster. That's a good kick from O'Sullivan. That's a great kick from Chris O'Sullivan. Canberra Premiership, of course, World Club challenge against Widnes for Canberra, and that sort of kick, so important on a night like this one.
Certainly is, and O'Sullivan will be wanting to have a great game against, of course, the Australians. But I'm sure that these Aussies realise now that they're in for a very, very hard tussle tonight. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to fight for a win.
Just over 19 minutes gone. The Australians are ahead, 4 points to 0. Mackay's try. But a good period of play from Warrington. They're matching the task here. But the Australians do like to run it. They like to move that ball about if they can. Gillespie Gives it to Elias, shaping to kick. Doesn't fool anybody. Good tackling from Warrington. Swarming all over the man in possession. And that man was Mark Geyer. Last tackle in this sequence. We're midway through this first half. Elias's kick. One for Lyon to chase. And he then gives it to his winger Williamson, who's come in field. O'Sullivan, good play again. Gregory. Well, I think the Australians know that Great Britain and Warrington are expecting a big game from Gregory tonight. Rain Man gives it to Ellis. He helps it further wide. Again, that kick from O'Sullivan. A good kick from O'Sullivan too. Hasler nearly doing well, but the pitch just robbing him. Shear. Run from Walters. It's Geyer again. Elias on his own. Geyer. Warrington really are tackling well. Elias with the kick. That might hold up in these conditions, and it does. David Lyon's got to get out of there. I must say, the following up from both sides, Mike, impressive in this opening half.
Well, yes, they realise that they're the tactics in this wet weather. But Warrington really have taken the game to Australia, and quite a few gaps in that Australian defence will be worrying their coach Bobby Fulton.
Offside again at the play of the ball. Referee was calling them back. Obviously didn't hear him or took no notice. Penalty to Warrington.
Well, if this continues, the Australians are going to become paranoid over this. It'll get to a stage where they'll be wanting to take one step even further back from the referee. And as you mentioned earlier, Eddie, I'm sure that Bobby Fulton will have plenty of talk with the referee.
That's the way the penalties are shaping up. 4-3 in Warrington's favour. Nothing much between them tonight in terms of penalties. I think just about every penalty against the Australians has gone for offside at the play of the ball. That's a big problem they've got on this tour. Paul Cullen. Jackson from dummy half. O'Sullivan. Gregory and O'Sullivan linking well. That's a great ball. Thornley. Good tackling, Hasler. And they're not letting him get to his feet. That's got to be a penalty. Absolutely right, referee. Good decision.
Well, we see a beautiful tackle here, but once again, this referee has to realise that he can use a sin bin. Now, you'll see Mackay and Hasler. They don't want him to play the ball. Mackay comes at him a second time. That should earn 5 minutes in the sin bin. They're doing it for one purpose only. They'll accept to give away 2 points rather than the chance of 6.
It was a great run from Tony Thornley. And it's given David Lyon that angle for the first points on the board for Warrington. I must say, Mike, it's not a rule that we often see used in this country, the 5 minutes in the sin bin for that sort of thing.
It should be used because it's an Australian tactic. And I'm sure that everybody realises that this is Australia they're playing. And it's got to be put across to these referees that that's the reason why they do it.
Lyon then with the kick. 19 goals from him. It'll be 20 if this one goes over. He's just pushed it wide. So the crowd stay silent. But that was a good break from Warrington. The score remains Australia 4, Warrington 0. A little heart there, I think, for the wire. And that run by Tony Thornley. Alexander with the drop-out finds touch. And so it's a scrum down. Head and feed to Warrington. And this gets it back. Des Drummond. Dwayne Mann. Gregory. Mann in support. Good play. Alan Bateman. Dwayne Mann organising. Ellis took his eye off it for a moment. Just hit his thumb. He'll be furious.
He'll be disappointed, that's for sure, because Warrington had a wonderful backline there. Eye off the ball. For any youngster watching, that's not what you do.
It's a very wet ball. Handling errors. 4 to Warrington, 2 to Australia. Penalty to Warrington at the scrum. Australians bemused once again. And the referee is having a word with the captain, Mal Meninga, about his interpretation of the laws.
Well, there's a big fella, Mal Meninga. He volunteered to play tonight, but up until yet, he hasn't started.
Penalty finds touch. Warrington have a scent of something here. Cullen was the man coming forward on the charge. That's Tony Burke. He'll maybe use his weight and strength. Not against Lazarus, though. Dwayne Mann, Ellis, O'Sullivan. Good play. Bateman. Still going, Bateman. Taking 2 to bring him down. O'Sullivan. Little kick ahead. It bounces back to Gregory. And the referee wipes the tackle count clear. There's 6 more here. Good play, great play, Thornley! Warrington moved the ball across the face of the Australian defence. The gap opened up and Thornley shot through it for his 3rd try of the season.
Classic play here by O'Sullivan. The ball rebounds. Gregory moves in. And you see all the Australians. They bunch together, a quick play of the ball, Drummond gets it out wide. What's the beautiful pass here? And the gap, well, it was there. Bad positional play and poor defense. Different angle. This is super stuff from Warrington. Look how they keep the ball alive. And that is a badly missed tackle. But let's not take anything away from the Warrington try. Bad positioning there, and it fully deserved the 4 points.
Tony Thornley in the 27th minute brings the scores back level. It's 4 points apiece. A local junior player, the smashing season last time round, and he'll remember that moment for quite some time to come. So that's the angle that David Lyon has, and they'll raise the roof here at Wilderspool if this one goes over. Lyon, who has been in such excellent goal-kicking form all season, has again missed the target. But Warrington have got in for their first try in 3 games, and it's Warrington 4, the Australians 4. They don't score many tries here, but when they do, they enjoy them.
And that was one to enjoy. That really was a classic try.
Been on the way, that try, for about the last 10 minutes or so. Warrington have enjoyed an excellent spell here. I wonder whether they've weathered the early storm from the Australians, and they really can take them on now. Swinging arm, I think, in the tackle there on Tony Burke. Referee didn't see it. Now there's play to go on.
Not only are they confident, Warrington, they are finding the second phase of play and attack. They're finding those gaps.
That's a great catch from Chris Johns. And the Warrington players had strayed inside the 10 yards. Maybe we've got new viewers joining us all the time, Mike, on the Sports Channel, watching Rugby League for the first time. Just explain that rule.
Well, the ruling is that before a man can accept the ball from a kick, He has to come from behind the kicker. And unless the kicker runs forward and puts every player on side, they're not allowed to do that.
So that's why the Australians are in a strong position now. They're inside the Warrington 22, but they've given it away.
Well, this is the frustration that's coming into the Australian camp. That was an awful pass, especially in these conditions.
Mark Sargent not able to hang on. So possession now should go Warrington's way, and does. Bateman is caught underneath his own posts. Paul Cullen, whose pass provided the opportunity for Thornley's try. And one of the Australians injured there. Saw him grimace. It's Glenn Lazarus. Meanwhile, play continues. Saw him grimace as his arm was seemed to be caught underneath the tackled player. He's on his feet as that kick goes in. Good kick it is too. Johns, though, retreating quickly. Main man, he's a small, squat figure, and he was totally unmoved there as Johns hit him at full tilt. Meninga. Here's Lazarus, he seems fit again. Tackling Gregory, and also Neil Harmon. Mackay. That's the last tackle. Good tackling stint from Warrington. The Aussies will have to kick here. It's with the kicker in chief. And it's now with Des Drummond. One of the fastest wingers in the game, Des Drummond. 24 caps for Great Britain. There he is, Drummond. Gregory. Through a ton of work, Mike Gregory. Broken finger kept him out until tonight from the first team.
This has been the key factor with Warrington. The forwards are working as a pack. They really are putting a lot of effort into it. And a good linking play by O'Sullivan and Ellis.
That's a bad mistake, though, from O'Sullivan. His first mistake of the night, the ball going out of play on the full.
Here you see the replay. He had plenty of time. He knows as soon as it leaves the boot, far too strong.
Hasler feeds, get possession from the scrum. Good run from him too. Good job Ellis was alert. Lazarus. Mike Gregory is all over the field tonight. I think he's out to impress. Meninga. Harmon and Gregory again, bring him down. They're only 10 metres away. Shearer. On the blind side, trying to follow his way over the big number 10. The referee's given the try. Mark Sargent's try. His second of the tour. And the Australians, who are over here on tour with the Kangaroos, celebrate a try that really says it all about Australia, the strength and power of the big forwards.
This was quick play, good thinking by Elias. Sargent going wide. Now the resulting tackle before that, Williamson, the winger, had stopped that first tackle, and he got himself out of position and just enough for the prop forward to squeeze in. Good play by the hooker, and Sargent has the strength to get the 4 points.
Mark Sargent, a bit of a bump on his left cheek there, but it's an almightily difficult angle for Alexandra to add the extras. Great kick. What a good kick from Greg Alexander. His 12th successful goal on the tour, and Mike Stevenson said at the start of this match, there's the score, 10 points to 4 in the Aussies' favour. Mike said it's significant that Alexander is taking the kicks tonight with Meninga on the park. Alexander perhaps for the second test.
Who knows? He's certainly the player that shocked me. Bobby Fulton should have brought him on a lot earlier than what he did at Wembley. The last 6 minutes is not enough for a man of that calibre to pull him out a win.
But he's certainly on form with the boot tonight, as he has been, it must be said, all tour, Alexander. Lazarus. Dangerous play from the Australians. Gregory leading from the front all the time. Fittler. Is that a quiet match? They've definitely got a problem in the half-back position, the Australians. Lyon kicks downfield again. Alexander cocky, and with the confidence to take them on. What a great run from Alexander.
He's been one of the stars on the tour so far, and he knows a big game will definitely give him a chance for that test spot.
Penalty though to Australia. Alexander being held down in the tackle. He takes the penalty himself.
Quite interested with the Australian tactics tonight. A lot of running from dummy half from Benny Elias. I'm sure Fulton's looking to see whether this man could force his way into a test selection as well.
There's no doubt that win on Saturday by Great Britain has set this tour alive. It really has put the cat amongst the pigeons. Here come Australia again. Good ball. Johns looks to unload. Does so. They keep it going so well. And again, Alexander. Australia looking to really ram home their advantage as we approach half-time. Hasler. Quick hands from the Australians. Lazarus. Hasler had moved up in support. Fortunately for Warrington, he couldn't release the ball. Elias. Walters. That look forward. Elias with the bomb. And it's the Australians who've come up with it. And it's another try. Mark Geyer, the try scorer. And that was rank bad play by Warrington as they chased that high kick.
They held off here, and the big guy, the second row, Mark Geyer, watch him jump up higher. A little bit suspect moving into the man before accepting the ball. Referee said it was okay. The crowd didn't like this one. Geyer, in my book, certainly moved into him.
And Warrington unhappy with that Geyer try because Mike Gregory is now walking to the sin bin. He said something out of turn to the match official, Dave Carter from Widnes. And Mike Gregory, the Warrington captain, back in the side tonight, has said too much to that man in red. And he's in the sin bin for 10 minutes. You've been calling for that sin bin all night.
Well, certainly, surprisingly, it has to be a Warrington player that goes into it. And he's using it for the wrong section.
Alexander then with this conversion attempt. Just goes wide this time. And so the Australians increase the lead. 14-4, and Warrington have to survive the last 60 seconds of this half and 9 minutes of the second half without their captain Mike Gregory.
Well, that really is a blow not only for Warrington but for the game itself. When you think that 2 Australian tries have come from, one, a bad mistake by Warrington, a charge down, and from a bomb, it really must be disappointing for everyone here at Wildesboro.
Des Drummond was having words with the referee as Warrington prepared to kick off. So I think you could say they're not very happy about Mr. Carter here in this particular part of Cheshire. Australia caught inside the 5 at the play the ball again. So we're into stoppage time now. Surely they will kick for goal here.
Well, I hate to disagree with you, Eddie, but I certainly would put it in the corner and try to get the points on the board.
We're in stoppage time, though. Maybe that's what Warrington are thinking about. Maybe they haven't got that much time left in this first half. And so Lyon, with not too difficult a shot, it must be said, has a chance to peg the Australians back and take the 2. Into stoppage time, deep into stoppage time here at Warrington. And Lyon with a crucial kick. He's not been successful all night. And this is his 3rd. They'll have the 2. And there is the half-time siren, and that's why Warrington decided to take the 2 points. The referee, though, goes off to a chorus of boos. Warrington 6, Australia 14 at half-time. More from Wilderspool after the break.
Is perfect for what should be a tremendous second half. As you can see, the Australian Kangaroos 14-6 ahead after the first 40 minutes. So to describe the second half for you once more, Mike Stevenson and Eddie Hemmings.
And there is Tony Thornley, the tall Warrington centre, whose try in the first half really brought the Wilderspool crowd to light. But Australia have scored 3 to Tony Thornley's 1. I don't think for 1 minute they've decided that one half is enough, and they should be with us shortly. But you have to look in the record books back to 1967, when Australia last lost 2 matches in succession. And there's a man who hopes that perhaps history will repeat itself tonight, Mike Gregory, who has 9 minutes or thereabouts of this first half to spend in the sin bin. Here come the Australians, led by their captain. Just back to that record book, 67, Great Britain won the first test 11-16, and then St Helens beat the Australians the following Wednesday by 8 points to 4. Mark Geyer, one of the try scorers for the Australians, hoping against hope that his name won't be going into the history books here tonight. Referee David Carter receiving the usual welcome from the crowd. Scrums are all square. The penalties have gone Warrington's way, and mainly the Australians have been pinned by the referee at the play the ball. And we're just about ready for this second half to get underway. Chris O'Sullivan, the Australian from Canberra, who starred in that grand final you saw on the Sports Channel last month, restarts the play. And the first touch for Alexander, another of the stars of the grand final. Underneath his kick is David Lyon, his opposite number, who does well. 1 or 2 good runs from Lyon in the first half. Good kick for 2 points right at the death of the first half. And again, Australia caught offside at the play the ball. And I noticed that Michael Hancock is on in this second half. Number 17 on his back. Well, it's actually John Cartwright, not Michael Hancock, even though we were told that Hancock would wear 17. It is John Cartwright, and he has come on for David Gillespie. Warrington, as they were, with 12 men, of course. Ellis couldn't keep hold. And Mike, a big 8 minutes or so at the start of this second half for Warrington. They've got to keep Australia within sight with one man down.
They certainly have, and they've got to tighten things up as quickly as possible, slow the play down, just like Great Britain did last Saturday.
And Warrington too, you notice, have made a substitution. Chris Rudd is on. We'll check and see who he has replaced. Paul Williamson has been taken off by Brian Johnson. So Chris Rudd in 15, who faced the Australians against Cumbria a fortnight ago, sees them for the second time here tonight. That was Jackson, though, with that driving run. Lyon with a good kick. And Shearer collects on his own 22. And Warrington forcing him back on this muddy surface.
Clever play by Lyon to put them in this position, and look at that terrier-like defence. That's what's needed.
Elias. That's Chris Johns for Australia. Mackay. There's Cartwright. Spills the ball. Kevin Ellis swoops on it. There's Jackson. Can't go without the legs, Bob Jackson. There's Mike Gregory watching earnestly from the bench. Harmon. Dwayne Mann from dummy half. Paul Cullen. What a night to start your testimonial. Referee has seen something in the tackle. Brad Mackay being pulled out by Dave Carter of Widnes. Penalty, Warrington. This is the reason why. Swinging arm there by Mackay. He did it again and tried to push the elbow into the face. You can't do that in front of the referee, son. Bob Fulton looking pensive. The Australian coach. The walkie-talkie working overtime. Mackay, the man penalised. And there we just saw, going out of picture, tapping the Mackay on the head, was the skipper, Mal Meninga. And it's quite obvious what was being said to Mackay. Just calm things down. And the referee warning the trainer, if he wants to come on with the refreshments, he goes round the back and stays off the field. He thinks better of it. Well, we saw just a few seconds earlier there, Bobby Fulton speaking into his two-way talkback. It was obvious the message was on its way out. And no doubt the same as what Meninga said to Mackay. Lyon then with this penalty. It just swings away in the wind here. And that could have been an important 2 points for Warrington. It really would have pumped them up at the start of this second half. Still, they kicked it dead, and so Warrington get the possession back. Tony Burke. Jackson. Ooh, my word, there's a roughhouse going on there, but he did well to release the ball. Here come Warrington with Bateman. Referee telling Australia to get onside. And Mike Gregory comes back into the fray. Warrington back to full strength at 13. Cullen. Good tackling, Cartwright. That's the last tackle in this sequence. Warrington run it. Gregory. Ball spills out of his hands. It's the 6th tackle, so it'll be the turnover automatically. But Mike Gregory back in the action right away.
Well, this came from a lovely run by O'Sullivan. Unfortunately, Mike Gregory would have been quite cold. First time onto the ball, just couldn't handle it.
But he's been first or second man into the tackle all night when he's been on the field, Gregory. Here's Cartwright. Ball goes free. Knock on, the referee's decision.
He's not impressed with this, Cartwright. This is a move by Fulton that bring him on in the second half to try to boost his confidence. Remember, it was a big test debut for him at Wembley.
And one against the head, but the referee has penalised Warrington at the scrum anyway. So it's a penalty at the scrum to Australia. And Kevin Ellis, number 7, looking bemused.
Well, the referee said he didn't retire. All halfbacks have a little bit of a problem with that.
And anyway, the penalty has taken play right up to the Warrington 22. Here's Lazarus. Oh, they've spilled it. Another error from the Australians. Warrington really will breathe a sigh of relief after that.
I know Aussie coach Bobby Fulton would not sigh of relief, because that really has been one of the biggest problems. We've got trouble here.
Drummond taking on Lazarus. Lazarus challenging Burke. Drummond not liking what he saw. The referee's gone for the notebook again. Lazarus has got 10 minutes in the bin. This is the reason why.
Well, it's a silly play by Lazarus. You can see that he's not allowing the man to get up, holding him down by the head. Silly by Drummond to get involved. That was stupid.
But things are warming up at Wilderspool. Lazarus, I think, having a word or two with one of the Warrington crowd there. Gregory. O'Sullivan. Good ball to Cullen. Good to see Cullen back in the side after being plagued by injury last season. Here's Gregory again. Good play. Harmon. He keeps it going. It's Cullen. The referee, think I said that was a forward pass.
50-50 in my book. And the skipper, Gregory, pointing to the referee saying, how on earth could you have seen that? Stood 10 yards back.
Oh, feeding at the scrum again. Alexander, long ball to his captain, Meninga. Head down from Mal Meninga. Fittler. Good run, Fittler. There's Bobby Fulton. Not on the walkie-talkie this time. Kevin Walters. Just wonder who Bob Fulton will be talking to on that walkie-talkie, Mike, when he does use it.
Well, he's got one of his assistant trainers down there. I can assure you that he's quite vocal.
Fittler. Good play. Geyer. Good tackling too from Harmon. He felt that, the big number 10 of Warrington. Meninga. This is where Meninga's so dangerous. Johns. Good ball skills again as he juggled that and then found Walters. Good tackling Warrington. The last tackle that was. Will the Aussies run it? They're 10 metres out. Elias with the bomb. A tester for Lions. Referee's whistle goes. And an elbow being used in the chase by an Australian. And I think Mark Geyer said he got the elbow.
Well, you can see here that Geyer hoping to get his second one. And I think Geyer has every right to complain. He was pushed from the back.
Australia, remember, down to 12 men. Glenn Lazarus in the sin bin. They lead 14 points to 6. If Warrington are going to strike, they must strike now. That's the last tackle. They're having difficulty getting out of their own 22 here. Well picked up by Alexander. Good tackling from Bateman, but Drummond was completely fooled, and this is a wonderful run from Alexander. Stopped only by his opposite number, David Lyon. Fittler, Hasler, Walters, keeps the ball alive, Cartwright, good play, Geyer. Warrington playing one-man rugby at the moment. That's better. With tackling like that, Mark Sargent's going nowhere. Hasler, Fittler, Johns, unloads, Fittler again, Walters, kick ahead from Walters, he was pulled down from behind by Thornley, and he's appealing to the referee, who will have none of it.
Well, here you see Walters push it through, and it's a matter of whether he's committed himself.
Meantime, a good break from Warrington on that far side. Drummond lost it and then managed to get the ball back for his team. Good run from Bateman. The two Welshmen have impressed tonight. I know Ellis was responsible perhaps for his kick being charged down. There he is now. This is Thornley. That kick had allowed Australia in for the first try. The two Welsh imports have done well, and this fellow always does well, Jackson. And Jackson laid out flat by that tackle. The referee says he was grabbed round the collar, and he's wearing a high collar. O'Sullivan's kick, and it's a beauty. And he's leading the chasers on Alexander himself, and he's got him. Good play from the Australian standoff half. Walters kicking out there in the tackle, but allowing to go on. This is Shearer. Fittler. That's the last tackle. Will the Australians kick again? It's with Alexander. They will, I think. And Chris Rudd picks up.
Been a strong effort from this Warrington side, especially in the forwards. And under these conditions, I wonder how long Warrington can keep this pace up. They'll be very tired. They've worked hard, this Warrington pack.
Drummond really hasn't had a chance to show the Australian defence a clean pair of heels all night, Des Drummond. It was a terrible ball, and Bateman Duane Mann rather did well to pick it up. Man again. Last tackle. Lyon's kick. It's a good one too. Shearer collects. Ball comes free. If he only could have picked that one up, Ellis. He had half the length of the field to go.
Well, you see the ball come free here, and Ellis, well, he was thinking 4-point and for picking the ball up. Rather unfortunate. But the scrum will go with Warrington's head and feed.
And in the background, a substitution made. The details on the bench, Peter Hutton.
Well, Billy McGinty, number 16, has come on. He's replaced Neil Harmon, who has a knee injury. One other word from the Warrington bench. Mike Gregory suffering no after-effects in his return to rugby league.
Good news for Warrington, that. Good news for Great Britain. And that's good tackling. That's great play. And the referee in there to stop any trouble before it develops. Johns was just in the field of play.
That was great tactics by Warrington. They saw that Australia had the fullback stood up. There was no one there, and that could have been dodgy for the Aussies.
And Billy McGinty, the new arrival, there he is, number 16, involved in all that a couple of times. So obvious what Brian Johnson's told him to do, get out there and get stuck in, and that's exactly what he's doing. Meninga, though, for Australia. And the touch judge, I think, saw an illegal challenge by Des Drummond. Quickly in. It looked a bit high, but Meninga, the captain, looked, telling his players to keep away from the referee. Ooh, it could have been nasty, that. Drummond using his shoulder and his head.
Well, it's an aspect of the play that I've always said should be banned. Drummond made no attempt to tackle. A human missile there. And really, someday, somebody is going to get killed.
Well, the referee wants a word with Drummond and his captain, Mike Gregory. I think Drummond protesting his innocence. Well, it was for a punch in the tackle. I can't believe that.
Well, it's a human missile that could have taken his head off. Lets it go, and a little punch gets penalised.
Cartwright then for Australia. Gaia at full stretch. Elias. Meninga wanted it. Elias went on his own. And Dwayne Mann has picked up for Warrington.
Well, that was lucky for Warrington. Mann was in there to mix and match and get that ball away, because we're beginning to see Warrington tire badly. Australia are running across the advantage line. Warrington not moving up in defence, and that sounds very ominous to me.
There's Glenn Lazarus back on the field, so Australia now back up to strength. This is McGinty. Cullen from acting half, going on his own. Nice run from Cullen. McGinty again. Into no man's land. Lyon trying to kick. Unloads eventually to Jackson. And Jackson, a little grubber kick, finds touch on this near side. Good play by the second row forward. All options were cut down.
Good thinking there. He knew he'd not much else to do. Went for the open space and found the touch.
Jackson, the man packing down there with number 11 on his back, he's got through 35 tackles here tonight. The Australian working overtime against his countrymen. Mackay for Australia. It's a good tackling stint this, though, by Warrington. Can they hold out? And Gregory, it might be his first match back of the season. What a game he's had. Cartwright. Gregory in there as the third man again. Midway through the second half as Elias puts the high ball up to test Warrington. Again, Kevin Ellis drops that one. And that means the tackle count is cleaned again. So the Australians have 6 more. And I wonder whether fatigue now is beginning to show. They're 10 metres out. Sargent. Oh, he released it straight into Kevin Ellis's arms. And Ellis has made amends for the error.
Well, you saw Benny Elias say a few choice words then to Sargent. He should have held on. They tried to duplicate the move in the first half that brought Sargent the try. But Ellis was Johnny on the spot.
That was a good take by McGinty. Under pressure, and it was round his ankles. Warrington really are getting penned back in their own 22 here. That's the last tackle. Watch for this ball to be spun to Lyon. There it is. One bounce and it's in Shearer's arms. So Australia back in possession. Neil Harmon, as you saw earlier, has gone off for a breather. Hope he has some breath left. He's talking now to Peter Hutton.
Neil, a hard game tonight.
It is, yeah. Well, you're led to believe, you know, they're superhuman when we first went out there, but, you know, it's just like a normal game. It's nothing out of the ordinary. I think they're very beatable, and I think the 3 tries they have got have not come through good rugby, it's just pure luck, I think.
Or individual play, perhaps?
Well, maybe individual play. I think we've been unlucky on at least 2 of them, with the bomb and the one in the corner. And I think we've been unlucky ourselves on numerous occasions, but, you know, I still think we can beat them. They're very beatable.
Also, the kicking game working well for you. It is driving them back.
Yeah, we've been practising all week on the kick again. Chris and Kevin, I think they're kicking well. Perhaps towards the full-back on a number of occasions, but the kicking game's been well so far, yeah.
Finally, the injury?
Yeah, I can't believe it. What we've got to do to finish the game? I've just got a knock ahead there on the front of the leg, and I tried to run it off, but I just went stiffer and stiffer as the game went on, so I just had to come off.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Thanks a lot.
Well, he did have plenty of puff left. Neil Harmon talking a good game, a sensible game. Meanwhile, touch judges coming on this near side. Penalty to Australia. And I think you can tell from that the elbow used in the tackle. So penalty Warrington. It's a good match this though. Jackson for Warrington. McGinty. 3 players were waiting for him. Gregory again. Really has led by example, Gregory. McGinty. Ellis. O'Sullivan. Ball charged down. Referee says play on. Fittler in possession. That little kick ahead had come off as another Warrington player prepares to come on. If that little kick ahead had come off, well, Australia might have been in a bit of trouble. As it is, they're in possession. Elias gets it and does well. Still going, Ellis.
He's had a good game, the little halfback, especially in defence. His reading in the sweeping role has been excellent throughout. He's been able to pick those kicks whenever Australia wanted to use them.
McGinty. Sullivan again. Gregory. Nearly unloaded in the tackle for Mann, but saw that Mark Geyer was coming in behind Dwayne Mann. Mann in the end has to kick. And basketball style, Greg Alexander picks up. And a good tackle from Tony Thornley. Jackson coming in to complete the job. The ball went out of the Australians' hands there. The referee's whistle has gone. It's a penalty to Warrington.
Well, I don't know where he's got this one from, because the referee certainly wasn't watching the play of the ball. He was looking to see if the players were offside. You see on the replay, Walters gets the ball away, and that was after the play of the ball.
Well, it's a penalty to Warrington anyway, but another substitution as Lyon is going to take a pot shot at goal. So let's get the details of the sub from Peter Hutton.
Well, number 17, Mark Thomas, the man coming on, and Paul Cullen going off to a big ovation from the crowd. This is benefit match, and he's earned a good collection.
So Mark Thomas is on. Meanwhile, David Lyon is preparing to take this kick. He's had only one successful effort from 4 so far tonight. And if he could slot this one over, we're in for a grandstand finish. None of them he's had tonight have been easy. And on another night, he'd have put a lot more over. That ball didn't even go dead. Amazing. He's been in such fine form with the boot all season. Come the big night against the Aussies, his form deserts him. Just 1 from 5 now.
And I'm sure that the crowd here are somewhat disappointed, because if he had been on form, we would have been in for a really electric last 10 minutes.
(14-6), the Australians ahead. And we make it 27 minutes gone in this second half. No doubt about it, the Australians have not had it all their own way here tonight. This is a good show from Warrington, and they're not done yet. Walters with the kick. Drummond will take it on the full. Now, I was going to say the first time that Drummond's had a chance to show us his pace. And what's the phrase you use in Australia, Mike? He had short sprigs on. Try scorer, Tony Thornley. O'Sullivan. Half break from O'Sullivan. Lazarus read it well. Last tackle. David Lyon. Now with Thomas. Thomas's kick. Collected by Johns. He evades Thornley, but he can't evade those three.
You've got to give credit to this Warrington side. They haven't thrown the towel in, and I've been very impressed with their performance, especially in the forwards.
Yes, they've matched the Australians, tackle for tackle. Meninga makes such good yardage, doesn't he, Meninga, even with 4 players round his middle.
Very quiet game, though. Disappointing, I'm sure, for the crowd. He hasn't been at his best tonight. He doesn't seem to want to get involved in the game.
Last tackle this, and a high kick from Alexander. No one chasing on Thornley, though. He collects it easily, and that's a good run from the centre. Last time they were here, the Australians, they were beaten by Warrington in 1978, 15 points to 12. The locals in this part of the world tell you that the 82 and 86 Invincibles missed Warrington off their itinerary. O'Sullivan, that's a good ball. Thornley. Last tackle. O'Sullivan again. Good kick. Bit of indecision between Johns and Alexander. Alexander eventually takes control. Just 10 minutes to go. The difference is 8 points. And the referee has penalised Australia again. And Greg Alexander, it's another penalty to Warrington for talking this time.
Well, Brandy not too impressed with that. Too much soda in that drink and too much talk.
13-7 is the penalty count in Warrington's favour. Not too many of the referees on this tour have taken to the Australian style of play and vice versa. Man, now this really is a chance for Warrington. Ellis. O'Sullivan waiting at dummy half. Gregory receives the first pass. The Aussies working overtime to keep them out. Man again. Have Warrington got the idea to open this defence? Drummond might have.
That was great defence there by Benny Elias. Quicksilver in defence. Nullified that 6 tackles very well indeed.
Benny Elias, the hooker, looking for a place in the test lineup at Old Trafford on Saturday week. Remember, Australia have to win the next 2 or the Ashes will be staying in this country.
Well, I think Elias has done enough tonight to certainly stake his claim. He's been busy, both attack and defence.
Well, there's not too many of this 10,200 all-ticket crowd. A capacity attendance at Wilderspool tonight going home. This game has still to be won and lost, you feel. Chris Rudd collects for Warrington, but that's good tackling from Fittler. Lyon, good run from Lyon.
I'm sure this crowd and the Warrington players will be left ruined the fact that the goal kicks didn't go over and 2 lucky tries went to the Australians, and it could well have been a different story.
Mark Thomas just on for Warrington. This is Drummond. Head down from Drummond every time. Ellis with the kick. Well held, Johns.
And to give you some indication that Bobby Fulton's certainly not impressed with the Australian performance, especially with the youngster Brad Fittler. I don't know whether he's injured or not, but they've shifted him out to the wing for the last 5 minutes.
Walters. Well pinned by Tony Burke. Cartwright. There's Fittler. 18 years old. Well, this is the best run he's had all night. He's heading for the corner. He's kicked the ball across field. And there's no one following up. But it hit the post. But look at that. Great chasing from Mark Geyer. It hit the post. O'Sullivan collected it. Swept up for Warrington. And Geyer had arrived. And that's the best moment for Fittler all night.
Well, it was obviously that he was injured. Doesn't seem to be that he's recovered very quickly indeed. He's a strong boy, got plenty of pace, and that's great thinking. He kept his calm, he was cool, and this ball really caused a few problems. And great tackle there by Geyer.
Well, we haven't seen a try in this second half, and that's the first time that Australia have been kept out in the second 40 minutes all tour. But are they finished yet? This is Johns. Still Johns. Warrington just get him at the last moment. Australia, though, are up in numbers. And Geyer is there looking for his second try of the night. Tackles completed. Alexander at dummy half. Kevin Walters. Fittler. Fittler going on his own. Gives it to Walters. Alexander. Walters again. Good tackling, Warrington. They've still got a couple more to go, though, the Australians. They're still not done. Fittler. Cartwright. That was almost into the stands. But Michael Hancock managed to hold on. Good play. Shearer is time going to tell for Warrington? No, they force him out, keep him away. That was the 6th tackle. So the turnover in possession, and Mike Gregory in possession there has completed over 30 tackles on his comeback. There seems little wrong with him. Such a fit boy, Mike Gregory. Trains alone, trains with the team. A fanatic about his fitness. There he is. 30 tackles.
A great effort, and I'm sure that he has to come into the reckoning to be in the squad at least for the 2nd test. And we saw
Oh, interception. Fittler, it was given away, and Fittler touches down under the posts, and the Warrington public and the Warrington team hold their heads in their hands. But Fittler wraps up the match for the Australians.
Well, this really was a bad play by Warrington. They opted for a long ball. Now, the reason why he was allowed to get into that position, because the man passing the ball did a dummy. There's the finish of it, but just before then, he held the ball back for the split second, allowed Fittler to come into the gap, and that is a gift.
Brad Fittler then opens his account tonight, and Alexander tags on the extra 2. And it was a long pass from Kevin Ellis, who's had such a good game otherwise. But at the end of the day, Brian Johnson, the Warrington coach, will say he's given that one away, and his kick was charged down at the start of the match to set Australia on their way to what is now going to be a victory.
Yes, it's a funny game, rugby league. It can go up and down for you on so many occasions.
Paul Derbyshire coming in to the fray for the last few moments for Bob Jackson, who has got through a power of work, 38 tackles. Bob Jackson. So the game's up for Warrington, but it's been a fine stint from them. And David Lyon, the fullback, whose kicking has been so important for Warrington tonight, has been named the man of the match. And there he is.
He's done some neat stuff. He can feel well proud of his effort tonight, as all the Warrington side. And I'm sure Coach Bobby Fulton will be very happy with this win, but I think what it's shown to the Australian tourists is that from here on in now, the teams are going to respect themselves just as much as they've respected the Kangaroos in the past.
The poor old Kevin Ellis, number 7. David Lyon, fortunately for him, swept up at the back, but this again, that's where Lyon collected the loose ball, and it came about because poor old Kevin Ellis, the scrum half, there he is with the ball now, he dropped it straight at the feet of an Australian. But Warrington are still not finished. They're keeping going to the end. That's come out the back door though from Bateman. I think they're absolutely shattered. The effort that Warrington have put in tonight, that's Alan Bateman, but they really have put in a big effort against the touring Australians. And it was only in the last couple of moments there, when Fittler seized on that interception, that the game was lost for them. But I think you're right, Mike. The British sides now will respect themselves as much as they're going to respect the opposition.
Well, we've seen tonight that the Australian side haven't been as confident. They've not kept the ball alive as we've seen in the earlier part of the tour, and they realise that some of these teams are really going to take it to them.
Next stop for the Australians, Castleford on Sunday. Sports Channel will be there, 6:30 Sunday evening. Meninga, Mackay, that's a good run from Mackay. Good tackling from Derbyshire. Elias to Lazarus. Meninga keeps it going. Sargent, Kevin Walters, still going. Mackay, and they're in again. And Michael Hancock has put the scoreline just a little embarrassingly further away from Warrington. and it's a scoreline, I must say, that the Australians don't deserve, and Warrington don't deserve to be on the end of it, Mike. But here it is.
We certainly don't, but at least the Australians, for one of the few occasions in the game, kept this ball alive, and for one of the few occasions, actually supported the man in possession with the ball. There you see Mackay slipping the ball at the last minute. Hancock did the right thing, stayed out on the wing, and an easy try resulted. Here we see Mackay looking for the support. There he gets it now, and an easy one there. Nothing the fullback could do about that.
So 24 points to the Australians and 6 to Warrington. And Alexander would like to slot that one over to make it 28. It's a great kick. What an excellent kick, deep into stoppage time here at Wilderspool. And I think that fellow should be in the second test lineup.
I would have to agree with you there, Eddie. It has been a great performance by this wonderful fullback.
So there's the full-time siren. And 26 points to 6 is the final score. Greg Alexander with that penalty completing the scoring for Australia.